Kevin Hart steps away from comedy in the new Netflix show, Lift. Let's find out my thoughts right now. All right, welcome back to the channel, everyone. Welcome to another rant from Frank Zanka. That is me. I am your host. I am an award-winning screenwriter, novelist, and comic book writer. And that's some of my books right behind me. Sorry for that, the tape. I'm sending out some of my books to people that have bought them. So I have my tape back there, so I didn't know it was even there. But let's talk about Lift. So it's a movie that I didn't even know it was going to be on, and if I was going to go into the theater or whatever. And I saw that it was on Netflix. So I said, yeah, I'll pop it in and check it out. I like the cast quite a bit. I mean, it had some really great cast members. F. Gary Gray, his name doesn't really, it's not a household name. So he is the director. And he's directed some great stuff. He directed Fate of the Furious. He directed The Italian Job, which is one of my favorites. But again, his name is not a household name as far as directing is concerned. But yeah, he's done some amazing stuff. And that's so, right off the bat, the cast I like, the director I like, and just so you know, the look and feel of this, it actually feels like a Fast and the Furious movie. So I didn't realize that he had directed a Fast and the Furious film. When I saw this, I'm like, this feels like Fast and the Furious. And no, I like, oh, well, there you go. And that connected with The Italian Job. This movie was right up F. Gary Gray's alley, that's for sure. I don't have a whole lot of stock in the script. The script was mediocre at best. This movie has nothing to do with the script. The feel of it and everything else is purely the cast and the director and the production designer. The production designer did an amazing, amazing job. So that is your team. That is your team that made this movie worth watching. Okay, it was not the script. It's a leave your brain at the door type of script. Everything is, for the most part, predictable. It's a heist script, but I can see why Kevin Hart wanted to helm this. It made him the leading guy, which you barely ever see for him because he is short. So, I mean, I really wish I knew how to say this woman's name. I'm a big fan of hers, and Gugu, that's right up there. Gugu Mabeth Raw. Okay, she's great. She is a great actress. I liked most of the stuff she's in. And what you don't get to see very often in films nowadays is that all the women are hot. And this whole female cast, they're all hot. And I think that Gugu, I read very hard to say that Gugu is an extremely beautiful woman. And so is Ursula. I had to look her up. She played Baroness in Snake Eyes. She was probably the best part of Snake Eyes in the movie. And then on top of that, you have, and I hadn't seen her in anything, Yun, I forgot her last name, but she plays the hacker in this. And she did a good job too. She did like a Empress TV show where she did 50 episodes. I think it was a foreign thing. I don't remember seeing that here. Jean Reno is also in it, and here it is, Yun Ji Kim. Again, I've not seen anything that she was in, but she was really good too. The cast really did a good job in general. Vincent D'Onofrio, I just saw him in Echo. He had a very small role here, though, so I can't really. It was good to see him in something else. And Billy Magnuson, he does a really good job in a lot of the stuff he does as well. He was just I just saw him as something else as well. Game Night, and he was also, I think he was the guy that killed. He was like the other agent in No Time to Die. He was like the evil guy, which you didn't know he was evil until later. He was like under Felix Leiter's wing. So yeah, he does a really good job too. But yeah, so the Kel cast, there's nothing I can say negative about any of the cast members. And so they compiled a really decent cast, and they had a good action movie. I mean, that's what it goes down to. It's just a Lady Brandador action movie where Kevin Hart plays the leader of a band of thieves. You There's no arc for him for the most part. Uh, there's no real arc for any of them. That's why I'm saying it's not the script. The script is mediocre at best, and this writer has barely any writing credits whatsoever. He must have been friends with F. Gary Gray or Kevin Hart. I think Kevin Hart also produced this thing, and he must have somehow gotten the script into their hands, whether they were acquainted or not. Also, Jacob Batalon is in this. He's from I forgot the character's name. Ned from Spider-Man. He's bald in this too. I'm like, he looks familiar. Oh my God, it's Ned. He has a very teeny role too. But the production budget on this could not have been small at all, because just the cast and the design work, the production design work on it, and the locations. Oh my God, they shot it in Venice, and then they had to build the interior of that plane. They had fight scenes on the plane. The plane had a I don't know if you want to call it a sunroof. I don't know what you want to call it. But the top was all glass, and then they flipped the plane over so that they were fighting on the glass. I was like, wow, that is really, I like that a lot. So there was a lot of good stuff in here. But it basically, again, going back to the basic plot, was that Kevin Hart is the head of a group of thieves that they steal art. That's their deal. And this is one time they're going after an NFT. So there was a little bit more of, mechanics behind it, that they had to hack, etc., into this NFT. So they end up, the guy who created it, they end up abducting so that they can raise the rate on the NFT. It was pretty interesting. That was a good idea. But that was only like the opening, so you can see the team together. And then you could also see, Gugu's character coming after him. I didn't like her. I don't like her in the Loki series. I think she's underutilized. She plays a character that's not really appealing. She had a lot more spaces to shine here and emote and everything like that. She's very stoic in Loki. I'm not a fan of Loki in general. Just to tell you the truth, I'm not a fan. And a lot of people like Loki, but I'd rather see Loki in a Norse mythology type of series than this time travel thing. It's thank God he's finished the role, and we didn't really destroy the role, but we didn't really elevate it either with the TV show. But anyway, I think she's far better here. Her and Kevin Hart have a little. I don't think the chemistry is huge, but it's enough to keep the movie going. And especially when he's shorter than she is, and she's not even wearing heels. But anyway, so from there, Sam Worthington's also in this for a little bit, and Jean Reno is some kind of a terrorist who's trying to buy this technology that can flood cities. That's the other thing, is that I didn't buy this whole. They didn't want to use a bomb, obviously, so instead they did, okay, we're going to flood a city. Okay, I don't understand how that technology would even work. But anyway, he had to buy this thing with gold. He couldn't just wire them the money or anything else. He had to buy it with gold. And they try to, in the end, they try to explain why it's gold as opposed to anything else. So there, Sam Worthington goes to who's Gugu's boss there and says, I'm just going to call her Abby, which is her character name, because I keep calling her Gugu. It just doesn't fit her. And Cyrus is Kevin Hart's character name. So she works for Stanley Worthington's character, which is Huxley, and he says, "Look, I need you to the guys you're after. I need you to make a deal with them. Don't bring them in. I need you to make a deal with them because they got to steal that gold before it gets to the guy paying for this thing, because they don't know where the guy is or anything like that, but they know that the gold is being transported." Again, there's holes all over this script, all over it. I mean, it is Swiss cheese. So I don't even look at it too, because even now, as I'm saying it, I'm like, hole, hole, hole. They try to stop it up as much as they can, but it just doesn't. Don't think about it. Don't think about it. So they have to steal this gold, and on top of that, they're flying it. And the only way that they can steal it is if they get a plane and they reroute the plane that the gold is on so they can steal it once it lands or whatever. So now they need a second plane, and they have to match the tag, the electronic tag. So there's all of that, and they have to have the signal sent to mask it and all this other stuff. And eventually, if the money gets to Jean Reno's character, then the world is going to end. Basically. But they have the effects are pretty decent. They have to crash the plane, and all this other stuff. So it's and we get to see the scene where, as a leader, he knows he's taking his team into something that he can't predict. Where most of the time he can predict about them getting away, but even if they don't get away, they're only going to get nicked. They're only going to get arrested. Here, if they get caught, they're going to get killed. And he says to them, "Look, you guys don't have to go any further." And they're already seeing the test on on TV of the thing flooding and people dying. And he says, "I'm not asking you for. I'll do it. I'll do it on my own." And they're like, "You can't do it on your own." He's like, "I'll figure it out." And his whole team has to step forward. I like those kind of scenes. It's obviously very tropey, with the team. In fact, I haven't even have it in my book, but it shows the loyalty to the leader by them stepping forward of their own volition to fulfill a very dangerous mission. And it shows how much they trust their leader, how much they love their leader, and how much of a team they are. In one scene, you can build all of that out. So I appreciate those scenes, even though they're completely probably overused. I appreciate them and the fact that they solve a very basic story plot. Not even a problem, but it pushes the story along where you don't have to question about why these people are doing what they're doing. All right, and putting themselves in danger. So anyways, of course, there's hiccups throughout, and there's bad guys and all this other stuff. Is it worth watching? As I pointed out, the plot is Swiss cheese. Don't even think about it. But it's a fun little movie. It's good to see Kevin Hart trying to play a serious, I'm not even going to say try, playing a serious role. I think he succeeds. I have no problem, again, with his performance. And I think it's fun, and it's without it being a comedy. And the actors all put their little twist on their characters, but we don't have any really arcs. We don't have anybody trying to succeed over something that's pushed them back. They try to do something with Abby's character where, something about this pain that got stolen from her parents. They tried to stick that in to give her some kind of an arc, but it's throwaway. So they're not really getting over any kind of fear. They're not pushing their characters because how they start and how they end are the same people. Nothing changes. So I would have put something in there that gave me some kind of an arc. Because right now it's just a semblance of an arc where they're kind of moving their relationship forward because they have a past. Abby and Cyrus have a past, and it's kind of moving forward a little bit, but that's it. There's nothing else there. There's nothing that there's no fear that the character's getting over. There's nothing that was holding the characters back that they have to push forward. There's none of it. So it's just a fun little movie. All right. But I'd still give it a 7.5 out of 10 just because it's fun. So there's that. All right. And that's it for me. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate you helping growing the channel. So give me the thumbs up, click it, and give me the middle finger if you want. If you say this is the worst movie ever, I just like movies that I can have fun with. But also subscribe. If you haven't subscribed, why the hell not? Subscribe now. So help me grow up this channel. I'd like to get to 5K. And if you like movie reviews, if you like comic book reviews, and if you like board game playthroughs, then this is the channel for you. And if you're just tired of looking at my face, then definitely don't. All right, thanks a lot, guys. Check out some other videos. Also, remember, I'm going to have late pledge for my comic book, Lords of LA, because I am an award-winning screenwriter as well. And as well as the card game that Mark Spears and I are working on right now, which is the Classic Monsters Rift Storm, which is a area control deck builder game. All right, we've been doing some playthroughs. Thanks again. Check out some other videos and have a great week. All right, bye-bye.